I'm trying to get a look that has a wide range of variation between the different colors. And then I did this a lot.
I see that. I like
and
it.
I did this, but I really exaggerated. But you, with your leaky lines, might have made the best thing of all. Do you know what I mean? So
well, we'll see.
We'll see what it looks like. I'm just trying to figure out what is gonna work next to a big, big, big Corten steel building. The Barclays Center piece, Ona, is really the most major piece that I've done in bronze. I have never done anything quite that scale. And Ona in Polish refers to her or she. And I thought that there's something about that sculpture that has some hint of a female feel. It is a simple name, and it has a reference that makes sense in my head in terms of what that sculpture looks like. I was surprised I was using colors. I can't stand colors ordinarily because in part I don't know how to use them, but also they feel abrasive to my eyes. So I was amazed that I was doing this with the patina. I really didn't know where I was going, and I kept thinking during the whole process of my putting on the patina, Ursula, you should have stuck to your black. But I was convinced that for the Barclays Center, which is so loaded with that metal look, the rusting Corten steel, I was so convinced that I wanted something that was lighter and brighter.
The heat opens up the pores of the bronze and readily accepts the chemical. You can have a wet application or a dry application. It gives you different looks.
I've been able to make the wood do acrobatics, and I sort of twist it to go into places it never thought it could or would want to. I can't do that with metal. There's a level of frustration because I feel like I'm not in as much control. The beautiful thing that the wood can do is give me so many details. It gives me a psychological base and details of that base with which to work. I'm definitely not trying to replicate the wood. And I'm wanting it to feel like metal, because it obviously will feel like it, and I want it to look like metal. But bronze, in any case, in time, sort of finds its own patina, and then it takes on its own look. Often these sculptures are large. Often I'm on scaffolding. I'm on scaffolding, in fact, 1/3 of my life. There's always this urgency with my having only so many years left. And when they say when you get older, life gets easier, it does not. You know, my biggest hope is that I get more courage, I get more trust in myself, I get more faith, you know, that I'm able to do things that maybe I wasn't able to do before. And I feel unbelievably lucky to have the kind of talent and the kind of brains that are working with me. I've been working in Brooklyn for 34 years. It does make me happy that there's a piece of mine in Brooklyn. It was very clear that this was not a museum situation. I wanted this to feel as though one could approach the work, that one could approach it psychologically, one could also approach it physically, but they would both sort of blend. Somehow I think that one could almost see with one's hands as well when one feels it. It just gives me pleasure to have the possibility to enable people to be exposed to art should they want to. It's nothing that I would wish to force upon them, but that makes me feel good.